Hi everyone, by the time you are watching this, PFA Color Suite 13.3 is already launched. So we are now looking at the hardest grading kind of log that we are talking about here. We are talking about the Nikon N-Log H.265 format. There is a lot of comments online talking about how difficult it is to grade, it's blocking colors. But first of all, I have to say all my footage are exposed to the right and exposed at 1.7 stocks to get the perfect color right of the frame. Then I'm using PFA Color Suite to grade the so-called very hard, very difficult color. But to be honest, I really love how N-Log performs and how accurate the color is. So when we look at the results, so we have a few shots here, we have 6 shots here. We're gonna go through them one by one and how easy it is to grade with PFA Color Suite and any kind of image in the world. So we can just use correction LUT to set a foundation. Then we use correction exposure as well as a correction white balance. You will set the foundation for us to grade and look at how everything now gets to a very nice point. Then we can use De-Logify. So no more searching for LUTs. I feel when you are trying to find the best N-Log LUT, it's always going to be destructive. Then it's eating away all the information and the high bit rate of my image. So always use 32-bit float math. So in De-Logify, we can get a very nice outcome. And the best part about De-Logify is stripping away the default manufacturer's saturation. And you will add it back in Spectral Contrast. So I can go to Spectral Contrast and increase the rate contrast a little. Look at just that one small change. How much organic colors do we add to the frame? And plus green contrast and blue contrast. We get a very nice foundation. And when you zoom into the details, there's zero noise or zero deterioration to the image at all. People always say that N-Log is very hard to grade. When you start grading, it's always fall apart. I don't see that coming at all. It's H.265 as you can see. It's just, sometimes you just need the right tool. Next, we're going to go to color density. I'm going to increase the global density to make the color pop and maybe make the red pop more. So that gives us the denseness that I want for the frame. And it's a very nice foundation. And once I've done this step, I can go to film tonal curve. Maybe I can add a milky gray in the shadows. We increase the black point a little, increase the shadow roll off, and we get, if you delve into this, you can see we have a very nice roll off milky gray in the shadow. That's how perfect this grade is. And it's pretty natural. I can throw in on a clip, it will work flawlessly, and it can, very nice. It's really out of the box, very nice. And of course, if you want to build a palette, you can use a film mixer. I can use teal and orange. Look at how good this result is. Like instantly, it massage my entire palette to teal and orange. You can massage my entire palette to teal and pink, magenta and green. Look at how well everything just works. And I feel because the color size of Nikon is so accurate that you can get the zero shift in the result, and no matter how much we push, look at the result. There's zero noise introduced and artifacts introduced. As good as raw. So I don't know why there are so much comments about H.265 N-Log is poor. And to be honest, it's really good. It's really good. I can copy and now we paste to another shot. Look at how well this is done. Of course, like what I say, foundation is the most important. We go to the correction, log exposure, increase the log exposure. Done. The grade works flawlessly. We can go to the next shot. Same thing, it works. Paste here. Look at how nice the grade looks. I can copy this shot. Right? I can copy to this shot. It's just fabulous. Look at the color. And of course, if I doesn't like this color, I can turn off teal and orange. I can teal and pink. Look at how instantly you massage the entire palette to something else and teal and orange. It's just so great. And because I think how accurate, for example, why I say the color is very accurate, I don't even have to adjust any range of my screen mask or etc. It just so nicely pick up at exactly where it needs to be. So that's why I feel N-Log might have become a better log format that I prefer over Sony S-Log because it's so accurate. Sometimes you can see the drift in Sony, but I don't see the drift in N-Log. Rate output to form more teal in the shot. It's amazing. And I can go down to correction log. I can increase the De-Logify. I can lower the log exposure to get a very nice exposed shot. So any change, you just go back to the correction state. Look at how well this color is. I'm not bluffing. And like even this shot, you zooming all the way to detail, there's zero deterioration. I think so. I find the best stop for exposure to the right. When you're shooting log, you must always overexpose. Set the EV compensation to 1.7 stops. You get super clean image. Increase the teal and orange. I can increase the teal and pink. I will get drastically different results, right? Then I can go down to De-Logify, so you know the flow. we can increase the contrast and up the exposure, lower the exposure a little. We get pretty much decent, very organic result. So pleased with the color. So for those that complaining that H.265 or N-Log is not gradable, it's totally wrong. And I feel the even the 6K RAW compared to 6K log, there isn't much. Okay, so that's all for this episode. I hope you understand from here is sometimes a better tool to extract the sensor information of truly 32-bit float from every single feature is much more important than buying a tool like a lens. The difference in lens, the sharpness is very minimal. For example, like looking at this shot, to bring out more focus, we can look at film texture. So we can even try our Swirly bokeh. Look at when we increase the bokeh amount and reduce the swirly focus area. Look at how organic that we have done to the image through the Swirly bokeh result. And I barely even talk about how good is our grain system. When you increase the grain, you can use the shadow and mid-tone and highlight system to create very different treatments as if the grain actually lived in frame. But we will have a huge revamp in film texture in the next version, so let's stay tuned. So that's all for this episode. Download the free trial, it will be 11.3, then purchase the license of 13.3 to get the full feature set. Okay, before you commit to a license, use the code TANK2026, 45% off. Okay, my name is Nash, Passion, Fuse, Ambition. I shall see you in the next one.